Chronological Bible in a Year, day 170. We're in a new book, Ecclesiastes. We're going to wrap up Proverbs soon, but we're starting the first half of this other book of wisdom writings by Solomon. And this is kind of a sad book. There's a lot of life is futile, this is futile, that is futile. But we're going to get to a point where we see there's something within that futility that has value. But it's futile from a worldly perspective, but it is priceless from an eternal perspective. But we have to read the whole of the book to get there, so we'll jump to that tomorrow. But today I want to highlight something from chapter 5. Chapter 5 begins, "Guard your steps as you go to the house of God, and approach to listen rather than to offer the sacrifices of fools. For they do not know that they are doing evil. Do not be quick with your mouth or impulsive in thought to bring up a matter in the presence of God. For God is in heaven, and you are on the earth. Therefore, let your words be few." How easy is it for us to come before God with these eloquent, fancy prayers, and there's a sense of pride in that. Jesus openly rebukes that idea. Here he's saying, come to listen, not necessarily to speak. Better to hear from God than to sacrifice to God. That does not mean we don't sacrifice. They continued the sacrifices. We saw he did countless, literally countless sacrifices with Israel at the dedication of the temple. But rather, if you have a choice between hearing from God and sacrificing to him, focus on hearing from him. Let God speak and then respond. But remember, part of this new covenant is this concept of our life is a living sacrifice. Christ was the final sacrifice, so how can we live in that sacrifice, lifting the cross of Christ, bearing the image of Christ to spread the truth of Christ? Today was a lot of bad news, but it's because good news is coming. So here's a question we can discuss in the comments for today. What are some things that you once called futile, that you later found to be priceless beyond understanding? And what are some things that you may have once thought priceless that you have now come to call futility? I know for me, it was once the praise and approval of others. I was the epitome of a people pleaser, and it was exhausting. But I learned I don't need to please people, I need to please God. But what about you? What are those things that you once held as precious and now call futile? And what are those things you once called futile but now view as precious? Let's encourage and support one another today. I'm looking forward to completing Ecclesiastes tomorrow, but until then, God bless.